everyone, we are the Group 2, and today we will discuss Lesson 5, Early Philippine Society and the First Spanish Contact. Social structure. Patterns of social arrangement in society when individuals are grouped into a structurally related class or set of roles with different functions, meanings, or purpose. Maritime trade, the exchange of goods transported by sea vessels between territories, mainly thriving in pre-16th century Southeast Asia. Age of European exploration, a period between the 15th and 17th centuries when Europeans voyaged to new territories in search of trading goods such as gold, silvers, and spice. Pre-16th century sources are scarce and the Spaniards wrote most of them. Blair and Robertson collected the Spanish documents in 1903 and translated them into English. The Philippine Island, the result of the translation made by Blair and Robertson, 55 volume, a collection of sources ranging from 16th-19th century. Laguna copperplate inscription, the oldest written record in the Philippines, dated in the 10th century. A written record of 1225 shed light on some Philippine islands in the 13th century and the conduct of trade. The Laguna copperplate inscription, discovered near the Laguna de Bay, described by Dutch anthropologist Anton Posma as crumpled, blackened, thin piece of metal, 20 by 30 centimeter plate of copper, fully covered on one sided with an inscription, in 10 tiles in finely written characters with a damage in the upper left corner.
The characters in the LCI resembled Indonesian scripts, so the LCI was initially thought to have come from Indonesia. The LCI script is similar to the early Kawi script, Java, estimated to be used in Southeast Asia around the 10th century. The LCI itself indicates the year it was written 900 CE, Common Era, 21 April 900, Monday in the exact date of LCI, identified and verified by independent scholar Hector Santos using Indian and Indonesian ancient calendars and calculations in astronomy. The language of the LCI is mostly the lingua franca of the Indo-Malaysian area, Old Malay, closely related to Old Tagalog with some word in Sanskrit or Old Javanese. Analysis of the inscription. The LCI is a semi-official certificate of acquittal of a debt of a high official acquitting him and all his relatives and descendants. Considerable amount in gold was unpaid but waived in the LCI with other officials as witnesses, some of whom are mentioned by name and jurisdiction. As a piece of new historical evidence, the LCI established that the Philippine Islands were thriving well into the age of trade in Southeast Asia around the 10th century. Contentions of LCI. Its place of origin supposed to be from southeast of Laguna, Devay, and that the name Paila is the old name of present-day Pila. Pila, one of the most important centers of trade and culture early in. Contentions of LCI. Posma looks to Bulacan province as a better candidate since 5 places in the LCI can be found to present-day place in the Bulacan vicinity. Pulilan, Paila, Binuangan, Tundun, and Buka. Present-day Gatbuka. Contentions of LCI. In 2008, Johnson asserted that the LCI is about the union of two clans as a form of acquittal from the death. He reinforced that the places are in East of Manila, Paila. Present-day Pila, Laguna, Puliran, Old Tagalog, name of Laguna de Bay, and Binwagan, a barangay in Camarines Norte where gold mines were present. Contentions of LCI. Incidentally, some place name in the LCI were listed in the Catalogo Alfabetico de Apellidos. Promulgated in 1949, Angkatan, Buka, Diwata, Paela, Puriran, Somuran, and Tundo. Concept of Putang Deb in the LCI. Measured by 865 grams of gold, Suwarna is connected to the early Philippine social structure. Contentions of LCI. The LCI mentions distinguished names with their jurisdictions, implying that there were existing political arrangements in the islands centuries before the arrival of the Spaniards. Contentions of LCI. Scott added that the Old Tagalog vocabulary shows a range of words about metallurgy and metalworking and their equipment, even assigning specific names for gold depending on its karat quality. Hutang. In the vocabulario de la lengua Tagala is associated with several words on borrowing and verifying degrees with corresponding rates of interest in the eventuality of NAM.
Chow Jo Kwas Chu Fanchi. Predating Pigafetta's voyage. Chu Fanchi, published in 1225, briefly describes some of the Philippine islands. Chow Junko was a Chinese nobleman and customs inspector in South China as well as a compiler of knowledge recollections of traders, commonly translated as records of various and barbarous nations that establishes and extents of trade between South China and early Filipinos. Chu Fanchi Chow Junqua referred to a country called Mai and described its people as well as the conduct of trade. Country of Mai is to the north of Oni. Over 1,000 families are settled together along both banks of a creek or gully. The natives covered themselves with a sheet of cotton cloth or hide the lower part of the body with a sarong. There are bronze images of goods of unknown origin scattered about in the grassy wilderness. Pirates seldom come to this country. The following place belong to this country: Sansu, Three Island, Paipi, Yuyen, Pi, Yulilo, Likintong, Liusin, and Lihan. The product of the country consists of yellow wax, cotton peels, tortoise shells, medicinal betel nuts, and yuta cloth, and the foreign traders barter for this porcelain trade gold, iron, sensors, lead, colored glass beads, and iron needles. The Sansu belong to Mai. Their names are Kaymayen, Pauluyo, and Pakinong, and each has its own tribes scattered over the island, Sanso the generic name of the island. Next. In the remotest valley, there lives another tribes called Haitan. They are small in stature and their eyes are round and yellow brown. They have curly hair and their teeth show between their lips. They nest in treetops.
Analysis of the Chinese references. Chinese traders' direct references to the Philippine Islands appear between 13th and 15th century. Mai was mentioned for the first time in the Chinese records on the arrival of the Arab ship at Canton with a load of native goods from Mindoro in the year of 982 CE. Mai had become the foremost trade partner of China when trade flourished in the Southeast Asia. A century later, Wang wrote that this place had no chief and that robbery was customary. They captured ordinary people to sell as slaves. Later, Chinese sources added to the place name Min Tolang Sulu Manilu. In the 14th century, Ming Dynasty, Lusung, Fang Xiaxilan, Mindanao, Sulu, Manila, Luzon, and Pangasinan. For now, but to be continued, the end.